And you are watching another edition of Blewett's Blitz from the new spot. The first film review from the new spot, actually. Only have done one stream from here. Been about 3 weeks since I moved in. Walls painted, the stuff up, even though you can see the wires, which maybe I'll take care of, maybe not. Um, Ethernet run directly into the computer now, so I should have better internet than I ever have. There should be no lagging. There should be no nothing. Both on these streams and on the film reviews and on a live stream, I should have perfect connection as long as my actual internet does not go out. But reviews are about to start dropping. I prepped the entire draft class. I have most of the free agents done. I think I'm going to finish Byron Cowart and the backup center we got, Myers, was it Josh Myers? And then I'm going to get into some Jet reviews from, Titman to Fashanu to Will McDonald to whoever it may be. But a lot of reviews are going to be dropping. You should be getting a review or two every week now. And I'm going to try to stream again on probably next weekend or my next days off. But yeah, a lot to get into. Again, for me, it sounds like there's a little bit of echo in this new room. I don't think I heard any for you guys last time. If you do hear it and you are a frequent, obviously, if you're watching this part, you're not just a YouTube subscriber, you're a JetX subscriber as well, or you pay for the full YouTube. Let me know. I don't think there's any echo, but if there is, obviously, I would like to handle that. But today we have the Jets' second round pick. Obviously, if you want to go back and watch the Membu review, which is obviously completely unbiased because I did not do that review when he was a part of the Jets. I did that when that was still obviously, trying to determine, or the Jets were still deciding who to draft because it wasn't draft time yet. So that review is out there, completely unbiased. I liked him, quite a bit, especially compared to some of the people or some other people in the draft class. But nonetheless, now we get into Taylor, then we get into, Thomas and Smith and Moore, etc., Barron, whoever else. So the first play is not good. Obviously, you can see by the headline here, Taylor, bad block, hands wide. Now, something with the run game, and he's right here. I'll play it a few times while I'm kind of talking about him. The thing with him in the run game is it's not about lack of effort. And really, it's not even about lack of strength. I don't think he's I think he could add some weight. I think he could even be a little bit stronger. So that'll come in an NFL weight room, but it's not an effort thing. It's not like he's weak. He's maybe an average strength, type tight end. A lot of his problem is typically coming into blocks high, and his hands are almost always wide. And when your hands are wide, you give up chest control, right? We've talked about it 1,000 times. When your chest gets controlled, it's going to be hard for you to contain that player if they get their hands inside of you. So right here, he's trying to block this defensive end on the backside of this counter OT, and he obviously lets up the tackle onto the running back. Now, why? It's because the hands come wide. Hands, one, the head ducks, he's bending from the waist a little bit, and two, his hands are on the arms. You're not controlling really any of the body when the hands are on the arms. It's not really going to make much of an impact towards that defensive end, especially considering this guy probably outweighs him by 10, 20, 30 pounds, whatever exactly it is. He looks like a relatively beefy D end, and he lets up a hit, right? So really what we want to do on this one is get that right hand into the V of the neck, get the left hand into the shoulder, and then just torque him out of there. Obviously, he does not. He gives up a hit. This is going to be a relatively common theme throughout this review, but I don't want the YouTube people to get a twist like, oh my God, he's saying he's a terrible run blocker or anything like that. Like, yeah, it's not good right now, but again, it is correctable. He has the effort, and I think he has at least okay strength, which will obviously get better, right? He's 20, 21 years old. I know he's young. I forget the age off the top of my head, but Taylor juke route adjusts to low. So Taylor's right here in the slot to the bottom. Juke route, so he's going to break inside. He's going to sit it down. He has the option after he sits it down to either go inside or go outside. He goes to the outside. So nice slow break, right? There's really nothing to that. And if you do see lag here, one, it could have been because when I recorded this, I was using a slower internet connection, or two, some of the film I got was just laggy in general this year. So I apologize a little bit for the lagginess of this one, but I do believe it was just the film I got from the source I got had some of these games being again, just laggy. So the route, there's really not much to it. It's obviously he's it's relatively lackadaisical. But nonetheless, really what we're focusing on here is just his hands. His hands are very, very good. Now, did he have two drops? I would probably really rank him towards three or four drops. I don't think his hands are Larry Fitzgerald level. I think they're very, very, very good. I wouldn't say elite. But with that being said, he does adjust well to balls outside of his frame, low. In general, he's really smooth at catching the ball. He'll attack the ball. Here again, the quarterback puts it low, dives, cradles the ball. And then the important thing, secondarily about this is not just the catch in the air, it's the fact that he turns his body and shields the ball away from the ground, right? When you fall on the ball, it tends to pop out, hits the turf, hits your chest, spurts out. But so you want to protect that ball at all costs, and he turns his shoulder for his shoulder to take the impact, not his ball, or not the ball, not his arms. So he's not going to drop that. So obviously good side on the ball, diving, cradling it, and then turning. Taylor contested. He's right here in the slot to the bottom now. Let's watch him. Okay, again, just like a slowed out route. And it's another situation where the ball's not in a perfect place, and he's able to drag it in. Sorry, something in my throat. Um, and it's contested too. When you watch it in the secondary view here, the thing about it is, it's hard to catch a ball, especially when you have the defenders whose hand, his arm is, it doesn't look like it's through his arms, but they're at least chopping down on the wrist and dragging those wrists down. Um, good lowering of the body here. He doesn't kind of just body catch it and stay at his level. He drops down nice and low, so you can catch the ball in a proper way. Hands catch, looks the ball in nice and low, sinking into the catch. Defender gets his arms into the wrist, and he has the hand strength to be able to hold on to the ball through that. Nice rep from him again, just showing off some of the hands and a little bit of contested there. Now, in terms of like vertically contested, jumping up, catching the ball, I think he lacks there. But contested like that, like catches in traffic with guys kind of either on your back or attacking the arms. There's different kinds of catching traffic, right? There's like that one, and then there's one like, hey, jump up vertical, on a fade ball or something like that, type contested catches, but which he's not good at. The ones you just saw, pretty decent at those. So he's right here, decent block. And again, like it's a thing where his hands are wide. The effort's there, and again, I think he has decent strength. I don't think it's a thing where he has bad strength. Now here they're running a sweep, and he's just blocking down on the D end right here. And again, his hands are wide. And we can see that, right? Like, we see how they clap onto the shoulders. The thing that he does do here though is he drives through the hip, the right foot. You see the instep, um, the right instep right here. Get it on that frame. Right? Driving up and through this instep, up and through his hip, and then he's going to torque this guy inside using his core strength to pin him inside. Grabs the jersey, which is it's okay here. And he's able to down block on that guy and open up a lane for the running back. He squirts through there, or he could have. It's not the biggest lane in the world or anything like that, but he holds this guy up enough. He maintains the block. Now with him, I do think at the NFL level, he will get called for some holding, specifically because his hands do tend to land wide. So Taylor stairs push off. Okay, so he's right here. He's going to run a route. We're going to talk about some stair steps, him running an over route and then getting vertical to hold that DB. Linebacker looks like it's probably a safety. Could be a small linebacker too. But the thing about it is, again, when we're running like over routes and things, well, one, he has to get vertical here to avoid 44 here, but you don't want to just release and just continue on a bended route, because he's just going to be able to stay on it. So what a lot of guys do, or at least good route runners will do, they'll bend it inside. They'll take it vertical for stair steps on for two or three steps, one, two, three. That gets the linebacker, DB, safety, whoever's on him, to then match it vertically. Oh crap, he's going vertical, and it allows him to push off and break there. he's not able to stay on the hip as easy as if he were just continue on that bent over route. So bends inside, takes two stair steps right there, right? Bending it inside, one vertical, two vertical, paired with hard break, slight push off, create separation. Now the ball isn't there. I don't care. I think a lot of people reviews, they just look at targets and things like that and do reviews. If you do that, you never watch him get open by 2 yards on this over route, running stair steps. And it's important. It's an important thing in route running, to take these stair steps and obviously push off, right? You can hold your line. A lot of guys, if they take those stair steps, they'll take those 2, 3 steps, they'll lean into the guy and they'll use him to push off. So not only are you using a point to push off, which accelerates you, you pushing off of him obviously decelerates him, right? So good job by Taylor on that one. Um, okay, we have Taylor catching traffic square versus speed. I'm not sure exactly what I meant there, but we'll see. He's a number 3 right here, the inside slot. Let's watch him. Oh, square versus speed cut. Yeah, that's more of a thing where like I'm not sure exactly how LSU would teach it. I can tell you a lot of NFL coaches, if you have a guy in off coverage, a guy who's not on you, just run a speed cut and don't lose steam. Now with square cuts, you typically see square cuts more versus man coverage because you can use those hard lines to get away from a guy. When a guy's already off of you, just maintain your speed. So that's a coaching thing. Is that how LSU teaches it? Do they not teach it? But square cuts versus off coverage, I would typically say, let's just run speed cuts and not actually break down here. But nonetheless, we have another situation where he's breaking. He's probably a lot of guys are looking to where they're obviously looking where they're going, right? His eyes flash to the outside. He sees that DB sitting there with his eyes inside. Still is willing to attack the ball in traffic. Nice hands catch, and then obviously bad route by that corner, and then he's able to continue for about 10-ish yards of YAC there. There are a lot of guys who alligator arm that or don't look the ball in because they're afraid of taking the hit. Taylor is not one of those guys. He is definitely willing to take a hit, whether it be a cloud corner like it was right there, or whether it be or not. Actually, it wasn't a cloud corner. That was a guy taking an exit angle into the curl to flat. But nonetheless, somebody in that cloud type zone, or over the middle. Taylor is willing to take hits to bring the ball in, so he's definitely tough. So we like that. Taylor catching traffic. Clearly, this is going to be a solid one because we have the arrow, which means it was on Twitter, mostly or probably. So he's right here attached as the Y. Looks like we might have had like 2 slight stair steps there too. Let me just watch again really quickly. No, we just have a hard stab. So breaks vertical, hard break, hard break, drive line. Nice break by him. And then the ball's a little bit behind him. And it's a situation where again, doesn't care. Obviously good hands, contorts the body. Nice tight hands, right? Catches the nose of the ball. He's not letting the ball squirt out at all. That ball did not squirt through his hands at all. That's the problem when you have wide hands and you catch a ball. The ball is coming at you, and then by the time you collapse your hands, it's going through your hands and you're catching the midpoint of the ball or the back of the ball. And then when you get hit, you're not able to corral that ball because you don't have as much of the ball. You want to catch the nose of that football. That's exactly what he does. The linebacker, whatever it is, gets his hand in there, and he's still able to bring that in traffic. So good over route, good break, good contortion of the body, good technique in terms of catching the ball. And by the way, I heard I think it was Arian Smith say, "Oh, well, you just catch a ball. It's a focus thing. It's not really technique. We talk about quite a bit of technique on this podcast and film show about catching a ball. There's quite a few things. Having your hands tight, looking it in, not letting it cross your eye path. There's a lot of guys who the ball, they go to catch the ball and they let it cross their eyes and they're not looking. They're not looking in. You really don't want to let the ball ever really cross your face. Um, so nonetheless, he's right here. Like Y ISO, like flex Y ISO. Okay, slight stair steps there as well. Right? Bends it inside. 1, 2, 3 vertical, right? About. We got one, two, three. And watch what it does to the DB. DB getting inside, getting inside. You see what it does to him? If the DB, if he just kept running that over route and didn't take those stair steps, the DB just shuffles inside with him and doesn't take he doesn't retreat like this, take those two steps backwards, which then again opens up that break. Again, not targeted. I don't care. He gets open, and you see exactly how that affects the DB. Whereas if he was just to continue over, guess who's following him over? Nope. He makes that DB hesitate. He freezes his feet. It's a good job. Front side block from Taylor right here. Okay, again, like there are some plays where he is now we could see he comes into the block pretty damn high, right? There's pretty much no sink from him. His head's high, his hips are high, everything is high. The thing I like about it is one, like in a situation like this where if we're trying to pin a guy inside or we're trying to get outside leverage, really with that outside hand, we're gonna want to get it into the shoulder. You don't necessarily want two hands inside because you have less control when you have two hands inside in terms of like him moving laterally. And if we're trying to work him to the inside, it's going to be a little bit harder with your hands inside to steer him inside like that. Whereas if you have one hand inside and you get that quarter turn, that latch, and you get the hand onto the shoulder, you can turn him inside. So the one hand does land on the shoulder here, and then we're going to see the right hand also land wide. But then watch him remove this right hand and then get it into like the V of the neck into the chest like he should have initially. You see the resetting of the hand. So it's wide, reset it, get it into a better spot. And then he's driving his hips laterally and trying to get him forward to, again, get that positional leverage in front of him, right? If we don't try to stay in front of him, obviously he's going to drive in front of us. So it's a good job again. Initially, not good job, but the left hand's fine, refitting the right hand, and then driving those hips and trying to again hold him up, get positional leverage, and define this gap for that running back. It's not the best block in the world I've ever seen, but it ends up being pretty good. Like that's if you're asking me, hey, is this a plus or a negative? This is a plus block from him in the run game. So it wasn't like I watched this guy and I'm like, oh my God, he's just so terrible at blocking. There's no hope. That I don't want anybody to think that because it's not true. Another juke route from him, adjust. So he's right here, bottom slot. Okay. Okay, break to the outside. Again, another low ball from him that he's able to bring in. Not an easy spot to catch this ball, right? Really, really low outside of his frame.